Everybody has to eat.
We need water, we need air, we need food.
We really feel that we're at this juncture point economically and environmentally where we need a lot more farmers.
I don't want to leave you on the farm. I don't want to leave you on the farm. I don't want to go out, just so you know. I don't want to leave you on
As the family farm was on the demise, right, we had gone toward this monocrop, commodified giant farm scheme thing.
I think that the agricultural students of yesterday wanted to, learn how to, grow the most amount of food per acre, almost regardless to the effect that it would have on the ecosystem.
Well, if we had that kind of money going into the science of thinking with nature and working with nature and studying nature within itself rather than how to grow more food.
In terms of normal investing channels, which tend to go for low risk and high profit, golly gee, agriculture is just the opposite. It's high risk and low profit.
Because we're a distribution company, our margins are small, and so our volume has to be very large to be a viable company.
As a small farm, I would say one of our largest challenges is land access, land tenure.
I think that it's challenging for the best of the young farmers that I see, the ones that actually I think do have the business and the farming skills. Most of them, they don't have the capital for land and water.
How do we help make sure that the vendors that we are ready to work with have the capital to grow, to meet the capacity that that we're trying to serve for our customers?
Culturally, we have marginalized agriculture as something that you didn't want to have to do.
If I was looking for a school to study sustainability, agriculture, permaculture, I would need to know that this garden exists. Because without this garden, CSU has very few demonstrations, very few activities or actions that are showing the way for producing food on a community scale by the people in the community.
Folks with real kitchens and grocery stores were really finding that working with 20, 30 different vendors to supply local products to their customers was not viable.
corns turn brown, leaves fall to the ground. It's
Young farmer movement is the influx of some fantastic brain power into this problem and what it can mean as far as innovation in permaculture, agroforestry, working on annual cropping systems to make everything more resilient, sustainable, and doable.
We're not talking about going back to the system that we already have, but how do we have a sustainable local system where the local producers can provide for the needs of the community.
Food, as you know, and its production is the largest user of fossil fuels of any of the industries. And so if we're solving logistical problems like shipping and fertilization, we're really addressing some of the big global issues with these little urban farms.
Resources are our problem, and we keep throwing that away and then paying for it. And if we can stop that cycle or that thinking, out of sight, out of mind, we would be on a permaculture road, a permanent culture.
We saw, I think, sustainable agriculture as a grassroots solution to a lot of systematic problems that have been cropping up since the Green Revolution, and it seemed like a really tangible way to take our passions and make real change.
We deliver locally grown and locally processed foods to wholesale buyers along the Front Range.
Over in the man's best practices, you put a little bit of worm compost into the system and you even get better growth. That's been proven time and time and time again.
We were too small of a scale to make all of our own compost, and so we work with local growers and local compost people to, you know, bring the nutrients we need into our farm.
So we carry products from about 100 and, depends on the season, but up to about 120 different vendors. And they are from within a 400-mile radius of Fort Collins.
I think it's an exciting time because we're, as the first slow money principle says, we're bringing money back down to earth.
The local capital piece is becoming more and more interesting, and more people are starting to look at that.
CSA, it's what's happening. Community supporting agriculture and agriculture supporting community is the new paradigm, the new economic model.
The next frontier for CSAs is going to be neighborhood CSAs. So you're going to be a member of a CSA that's either close to where you live, close to where you work, on the commute from work to home.
We are all local. And then what's really important for our customers is that we're really clear about the attributes of each of those products. And so, while yes, we're all local, we do carry conventional, we carry transitional organic, and we carry organic on the produce side.
We're using these old world techniques and relearning things that we forgot from our great-great-grandfathers. And how did your great-grandfather do this, you know? But also not shying away from using some of the new technology or even innovating beyond that.
When we throw our food away, our waste food away, what we call waste, I call resource. Waste is not a waste until we take the action of wasting it.
And with the Feeding the Families program, those participants are treated just like our other farm members. They come on Tuesdays, they pick up their food, they step out of their seeming chaotic lives. Their kids run and play on the swing. They learn what to do with the food. We do a lot of food education, so they learn how to make soup with the extra vegetables, or how do you wash your lettuce.
Environmental, social, and economic. They do tend to come together in the food system.
As far as demand go, people really do understand the value of local, and that, you know, the idea is that, you know, it has multiple benefits. It's good for our economy, it's good for our environment, and it's nice to know where your food comes from, and it puts a lot more of the onus of responsibility for our food on both the consumers and the growers.
CSA and urban agriculture and all that stuff is moved into the awareness of public awareness a lot more.
There are probably another group that just love growing food. Now, whether they want to actually become farmers and do this for a livelihood, only they're going to be able to figure that out. But it would be helpful for them to know that there are actual programs, both land-based and not, that are going to give them an idea of, do they really want to do this or not? What is this really going to take?
Whether it's environmental, personal, like economical,
Yeah.
it's a win-win for us for sure.
And hopefully for everyone who also is our community through the farm.
Food is their entry point into addressing a variety of challenges.
I don't wanna go out, just so you know. I don't wanna leave you on the phone.
While I don't see the national food chain going away anytime soon, a lot of what it is it's this incremental building of supply and capacity and demand.
The heart and the core of any institution, any community, is in fact the garden. And when the garden is healthy, the community is healthy.
We saw CSA at some point taken off like wildfire, but I think its next big step is the re-urbanization of agriculture.
You're giving us your money up front and saying, I believe in you, I believe in what you're doing, I trust you, which is huge for some people, to grow my food, the best food, the healthiest food, in a way that is good for the land.
Literally, we could have a CSA farm in every neighborhood for that bottom line food security. Start from where we live, and I think all the rest will fall into place.
Agriculture students that are coming into universities today, that are seeking out internships, seeking out programs today, are really more concerned about the ecological impact that their agricultural practices are having. They're more concerned about their diet and the health and the the direct connection to eating the food that they produce.
Be on a permaculture road, a permanent culture.
We always encourage folks to talk to their favorite restaurants and grocery stores and say, hey, do you carry local products?
There's 25 CSAs in this area, and you can, okay, well, they grow this certain way, or they have animals, or they're close to where I work, or they deliver. There's so many options now.
Students may be most interested in participating in the community-funded world. Not only can they help support a farm or food business if it's up there among their many projects, but they may actually be rewarded by local beer, and what better combination for a student is there, right?
Our needs, first of all, is awareness. People know that we're even here. We're so busy doing what we're doing, a lot of people don't even know we're here. And the second part is to fund us, either by signing up for a share, or supporting our nonprofit, or supporting the training of a farmer. Those are huge things.
Living in a community that's already so behind local food and local economies has made it possible to have a business like this that is that's successful and is continuing to grow.
Find a mentor, somebody who's done this before, that wants to share, to build a community.
Yeah, and pushing your community's limits too. I mean, we can figure out how to grow this stuff, but if people don't want to eat it, I mean, it's gonna, I mean, and we're talking about simple things like maybe not going to the grocery store and buying bananas, but like thinking about like wild plums, or plums that come from your, you know, neighborhood that don't look like plums you buy in the store, you know, just thinking beyond like the proverbial lunchbox.
We have a saying, many hands make light work, and it really takes a community of people to help raise the food that they are going to enjoy.
Doing it on your own just never seems to work. It's small, like tribes, communities that are learning what works best for them.
Don't hesitate, do it if you think you can, and people will come around to help you do it. It's that first step that you make which is the most important, and people will rush in to support you.
I don't care what the question is. The answer is local.
It's a sound that sticks like glue.